Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of the Wrestling Forum as we are going to be recapping SummerSlam and NXT TakeOver 36. It is good old MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio, Michael Bullock, and Dee Dee Woodson. And guys, here we go. We're going to jump in right off. So there was a pre-show match for SummerSlam as it was Big E going one-on-one with Baron Corbin. Big E wins the match in 6 minutes and 35 seconds, which actually was a big deal because Big E ended up getting back the Money in the Bank briefcase. So now we start off our SummerSlam recap with the first fight of the night. RK Bro going up against AJ Styles and Big Omos, the winner of the bout, in 7 minutes and 5 seconds. And new Raw Tag Team Champions RK Bro, Riddle, and Randy Orton wins the titles. Look, solid opener. It was a little short. I think we can openly admit that. But, with a guy like Omos, I think you kind of have to understand that you weren't going to get a big, plotty, elongated match. It was short. It was sweet. It was really a good matchup, to say the very least. And it was a solid opener, but there were a lot of other matches that really tore the house down. But yeah, so pretty good to say. Nothing more to say. I can give this about a solid 2.5 stars. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Well, I'll tell you, MF. Sometimes you have to pull the trigger on something when it is hot. And this was absolutely the right time to put the titles on Orton and Riddle. Their reunion last Monday generated a massive response from fans, proving to be one of the few acts on the Red brand that is clicking. Putting the titles on them not only enhances their unlikely partnership, but elevates the goal to a level Styles and Omos just weren't going to take them, no matter how over and decorated the former is. Riddle is a star of the future, a legitimate future world champion. Orton is among the biggest stars of his generation. Letting them work together opens up a wealth of storyline possibilities, including the eventual breakup that will propel Riddle to the top of the card. A fun, energetic start to the show. This was an above-average match that captured the attention of fans and kept them hot from the opening bell. 2.5 to 2.75 of a star is my correct rating for this. So, not much more to say. New Raw Tag Team Champions, history made. And as I give it to the phenom Michael Bullock, he's got one word for you. And Bullock, you know where I'm going with this.
Bro. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely say history was made last night. I mean, with the new Raw Tag Team Champions, RK Bro. I mean, yeah, I mean, it was short and sweet, but yeah, I mean, with a guy like Omos, you knew he wasn't gonna. You didn't want to extend him that long, so 2.5 stars. I do agree with the rating, so yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Dee Dee Woodson, it's yours. Dee Dee, are you there? I don't know what happened. Oh, hold on a second. She said she had sound issues.
Oh, man. All right.
All right, so I guess I'm just going to give it to you now, Fletch, for the moment until she gets her issues fixed.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a mic thing. It could be that the computer is slowed on her. I mean, but yeah, try to get it fixed, Didi. Don't worry. Once your sound issues is okay, then we'll just get back and we'll pick up right where we're gonna leave off. So, with that said, the next match on the SummerSlam card was Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie. Alexa Bliss wins the match in 3 minutes and 50 seconds. I'm not going to waste too much time on this one, guys, and I'm not going to make you talk about the match. So we're just going to move right on along. Anthony, you can lead off on this one, though. It was for the United States Heavyweight Championship, as it was Damian Priest going up against Sheamus, winner of the bout in 13 minutes, 50 seconds, and new United States Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest. Anthony Florio, for the second time tonight, history was indeed made new U.S. champion.
And I gotta say, out of all the Raw matches on this card, this was the best one. 3.5 stars is the rating for this. To that point, it was the best match of the show by far. Sheamus and Damian Priest delivered exactly what you expected. A hard-hitting, physical hoss fight that built on their previous encounters. What made this better is it took that protective face mask that has factored so heavily into Sheamus' recent matches and paid it off in the form of Priest using it against the champion. Hopefully last night's match spells the end of its presence in Sheamus matches. Priest was the right guy to run with here. He was asked to make the jump to the main roster, work with Bad Bunny at WrestleMania, and participate in the zombie nonsense that followed 3 weeks later at WrestleMania Backlash. He excelled, earning the spotlight and a title opportunity. Now he is the United States Heavyweight Champion. It'll be interesting to see where he goes from here outside of the inevitable rematches destined to take place in the coming weeks. Who is really over enough in the mid-card to challenge for his title? As for Sheamus, has anyone been as consistently great as he has over the last year and talked about as little as the Celtic Warrior? He has been one of the MVPs of WWE over the last 18 months, a shining light regardless of the setting, and one of the few stars the company can count on to deliver in every outing. The idea of Sheamus as world champion may not be overwhelmingly appealing, but if there is a guy who has earned one more great run with that title, it's him. 3.5 stars. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, proud papa moment for you. One of your guys in NXT, formerly a former NXT North American champion. Now he can call himself the new United States Heavyweight Champion.
What did you give it?
I gave it 3.5 stars. What do you say?
I'm with you on that. I'll give it 3.5 stars. I mean, yeah, I mean, it was only a matter of time before Sheamus lost the title, and obviously, I mean, and giving it to Damian Priest was the right call here, and yeah, I mean, he now got his first singles title in WWE, and yeah, now the question is, what's next for him? I mean, who's going to be next on the Raw roster that's going to want to challenge him? So unless Sheamus decides to go for the rematch, but we'll wait and see. So there's really nothing more to say. 3.5 stars. So Dee Woodson,
we're gonna try
go
you.
ahead.
See if
Yeah.
you're good.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I don't know what happened. The headset or the earbuds I used Friday weren't working tonight, so I don't know what's going on. Or the other night, whenever it was. Monday, I guess it was. They weren't not working tonight. I don't know what's going on. But I got a backup headphone, so I'm good for now. So the first match, I'm going to give it probably 3 stars, and this one I'll agree with the 3.5 stars. So not much more I'm going to add. I'll give it back to you.
All right, I could give it 3.25, 3.5, no doubt about it. This was a solid match. Worked everything according to plan, and yeah, there's really nothing more to add here. So then the next thing that we did have was the Usos going up against the Mysterios for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Winner of the bout in 10 minutes and 50 seconds, and still the SmackDown Tag Team champions, the Usos. So, Michael Bullock, it's yours. You lead off.
Oh, well, what was the time?
10:50.
All right. Yeah, I thought this was another solid match here. I'll give it about maybe 3 stars, maybe 3.25. Yeah, I mean, the outcome was never in doubt. I mean, basically, you knew the Usos were going to retain. I mean, but the only thing that did surprise me, I mean, I thought we were going to get the breakup of the Mysterios, but I mean, maybe it's going to happen somewhere down the line. Maybe could happen as soon as maybe Friday night on SmackDown. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that. So Yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it is yours.
Yeah, I can give it probably 3 to 3.25. It was a very good match, and no, there was not any doubt on who was going to win. All the time that anybody would talk with Ray, because I watched the bump before the pay-per-view, and they were talking to Ray and Dominic, and everything he kept doing was he kept bringing up all of the rookie mistakes that Dominic was making, and that it just made you think, okay, something's going to happen. They're not going to pull it off in the end, and of course they didn't. But he kept saying they're rookie mistakes, or he expected them, yet he just kept bringing it up. It's going to get to a point that he's going to bring it up one too many times, and Dominic's going to snap. So it didn't happen last night, but I have a feeling it will happen soon if this keeps up. So not much more I'm going to add. Is yours, Fletch?
Yeah, no. This was a solid match. It was a good battle. Good. It was a good title. It was a good title match. I think I'm not gonna call it the greatest, but it was good enough. At the end of the day, the outcome, unfortunately, was never in doubt. I think we all kind of felt like the Usos were gonna do it, that they were gonna keep the titles here, and sure enough, they did. So, yeah. Dee does make up a good point about what Ray was talking about, how Dominic is making all these rookie mistakes and everything else. But the thing is that you can only get to a certain point before, you can start thinking that way. And I kind of feel like that's going to be a mistake down the line. But at the end of the day, the outcome was never in doubt. This was about a 3-star, 2.5 to 3-star bout. And the right team won. Sorry to say. So the Usos keeps the belt. Anthony, it's yours.
I'm going to be a little more generous on this. 3.25 stars for me. The Usos and Mysterios have wrestled each other so frequently in recent weeks that it would have been almost understandable if this one failed to meet the quality of their previous bouts, but it did not. The champions and challengers delivered another high-energy performance that captivated the crowd and had them itching for the father and son to regain the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. They did not, and while there was no tease last night of dissension amongst the challengers, the loss will likely add to the mounting frustration that's been building and building and building that exists between Ray and Dominic. They are destined to split, to have the rare father-son showdown. Losses like this will fuel that feud. As good as this match was, here's hoping both teams move on from each other, because the alternative of them wrestling yet again might be tempting diminishing returns. So 3.25 stars for me. So with that said, let me see what's some. Oh,
Yeah, we're getting
shake
into
up time.
All right. So what happened next was this was originally supposed to have been Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks. Now, throughout the day, we were hearing rumors that Sasha was off the card. Now, WWE never made it official. WWE had made it a point that it was supposed to be Sasha versus Bianca. However, when the match does come arrive, Sasha's not there. Sasha's nowhere to be seen. Carmella comes out, and we're thinking, all right, so it's going to be Mella versus Bianca for the title? No. It ended up being Becky Lynch. She comes out, lays out Carmella, and she's the one that gets the shot at the title. So now we got Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch, and the winner of the bout in 27 seconds, and the new SmackDown Women's Champion, the man, Becky Lynch. She wins the championship. Dee Woodson, it is all yours.
Yeah, that was something. I found out today listening to a broadcast that WWE knew 8 days ago, from yesterday, 8 days ago, that Sasha wasn't going to be there, yet they just kept on promoting it as Sasha was there, just, I guess, to cause this to be this big of a surprise that Becky would show up. In my opinion, I would have liked to seen a little bit more. I thought it was a little short, but it was still a really good match. And, you know, Becky definitely deserves to have the title, since really she didn't lose the Raw one when she went to have the baby. She gave it pretty much to Asuka so that she could have the baby. So I think that was fair that that happened, but it wasn't fair to the way that they shunned Bianca, didn't let her know what was going on, how it all turned out for her. I didn't think was that great, but it is what it is. WWE handled it a certain way. Wasn't the best way, but it was still a shock value, and it still made the pay-per-view worth the money that a lot of people probably paid for it that wasn't watching through Peacock. So I'm going to give the match about 3 stars. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, this was a shocking turn of events. But the thing was that I heard the rumor that Becky was out, and I should have stuck to my guns, because it wasn't that I heard multiple reports that first we heard that the fight was in jeopardy. Then I want to say about 4 or 5 hours before the actual event, there was a report that came out that Sasha was out. But like we said, we were like, well, is it really true? Is it really true? Is she really out? Because then there was a leaked somebody. Now, maybe this was WWE. They had leaked out the entire fight card for SummerSlam, and lo and behold, Sasha versus Bianca was still on that card. So there was no change. Even on wherever this leak got out, it still had on that, because you know how a lot of the fight cards are done by Blackboard or whatever. It still had Sasha versus Bianca on that board. So that meant WWE was definitely going for that match. There was no hint or no nothing. Maybe this was their way to throw the fans off the track or off the scent by saying, oh, no, she's still in it. She's going to be there. Don't worry. Don't listen to any of these dirt sheets. They're wrong. But the dirt sheets were right. Sasha wasn't there. Now, and you knew that when Carmella came out, you knew fans were going to flip out. They were going to freak. They were going to boo. Okay. You get Becky Lynch out. Becky comes out. Fans go nuts. Everybody's losing their minds. And we're like, oh my God. Becky versus Bianca? All right, let's go. I'm excited. Then they bury Bianca in 27 seconds. All right. This is where a lot of WWE fans were very angry with WWE. Because they were like, now, if you're doing the match, all right, fine, we'll give you that. But why would you bury Bianca in that extent? She was one of the biggest stars on WWE. Like, you made her a megastar. You gave her the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania, where she won the SmackDown Women's title. You gave her some good competition. She was holding her own as a champion. Why would you do that? And especially to the star power of Bianca that you were trying to build up. Have you already given up on her already by doing it this way? A lot of fans were really upset with WWE, but here's something that I've been hearing a lot of, and I mean, I've been hearing a lot of this, and this was that a lot of people were not sold on Bianca Belair as champion. Some people didn't like her with her promos. They thought, yes, she's a good wrestler, but she wasn't anything amazing. And some people kind of thought that, you know, that Bianca kind of was, quote unquote, over her head. That the limelight and the star was too big for her bridges. And that she had, and some, I know a couple of people felt like it was a mistake to put the SmackDown Women's title on her. Now, to each his own. And you can say whatever you want to say. I'm not gonna come at these fans because they're entitled to their opinion. I thought Bianca was a great champion. I thought they did a great job with her as the champion. And I thought the stories that they did was pretty good, fairly well. Now I'm glad Becky Lynch is back. And she looks amazing. Dude, she just had a baby almost, close to a year ago? And dude, she looks even better. I mean, she looks lean. I mean, I've never seen anybody. Now, I don't know, because now I'm going into an area that maybe I should not go into. And I am going to be very careful with the wordage I'm going to say. And especially for Dee Woodson, I'm going to be extremely careful with what I'm about to say. As a man, I don't know, and I really appreciate a lot of mothers who have children. Now, there's always the thing about baby weight, and you know, a lot of people has an easy time shedding the weight. Some have a tough time shedding the weight. It looks like Becky, after she had her baby, it looked like she hit the gym. And I mean, she went hard, because if you notice the way she looks now, before she got pregnant, before she had the baby, she was chiseled and everything else. Now she looks like she is slim. She looks like she could be even faster. She looks amazing, without a shadow of a doubt. And that's a testament to her work ethic and just her desire of wanting to come back. But the thing was, she wanted to come back when the time was right. The time was right. It was SummerSlam. And this was the perfect time to show up. You know, a lot of people were hinting about her coming back at WrestleMania. Maybe she wasn't ready. Maybe she didn't feel right. Maybe it was, you know, there was a lot of factors why she didn't show up at Mania. For her to come back, win the SmackDown Women's title, that's a big deal. But the thing that is taken away is, how much did it diminish Bianca Belair? How much did that moment hurt Bianca? I think that's something that we need to wait and see. because obviously they're hinting about that this is not the end, that there is going to be another battle. And quite frankly, I will sign up gladly to see Bianca versus Becky. And this time, not a 27-second match, but a lot more longer and a legit actual women's title fight. Anthony Florio, I got to give this an NA because the match was too darn short. It almost felt like Brock Lesnar versus Kofi Kingston, and that was the comparison we were getting from a lot of fans from last night.
And rightfully so. I mean, I'm with you on that. It's an NA, and I'm glad Dee Dee corrected herself, because when she said 3 stars, I'm like, what? Since when is a 27-second match a 3-star effort? Yeesh. But at least she corrected herself. So, but I was flabbergasted for a moment. But anyways, MF got it right. It's an NA. All right. Now I got to be the man who tells it like it is here. Was Becky Lynch's return to WWE long overdue? Absolutely. Was it great seeing her back, feeding off the energy of the fans? Without a doubt. With that said, what the company did to Bianca Belair and her championship reign was straight up disrespectful. After 5 months of building her, establishing this young star as the future of women's wrestling in WWE, it cast her aside like garbage. She wasn't presented as an equal or someone on the same level as Becky Lynch. Belair, the same woman who survived grueling matches with Bayley and Sasha Banks, overcame numbers disadvantages against Carmella and Zelina Vega, was beaten in 26 seconds by Becky Lynch. It made no sense, completely unraveled months of creative strategy, and by proxy put a damper on Lynch's return. I'm sure a lot of people are gonna, I know a lot of folks are upset saying, let it play out, shut up and enjoy the return. But at some point, WWE has to think beyond the moment. Yes, the crowd popped and the company will produce a documentary on Lynch's comeback. But the damage done to Bianca Belair's credibility negates all of it. It gets to be exhausting coming up with yeah, but follow-ups to stupid, self-defeating WWE creative. I mean, it's great to see Becky back. I mean, it was a great moment. It's a moment that made MF lose his damn mind. And yes, MF, business has indeed picked up in the SmackDown women's division. You got the man back. And we all know how grateful you were to have her the first time. I bet you're even more grateful this time around, as you should be. But great moment. But at the same time, you just have to feel for Bianca Belair and all that momentum that she built throughout the year, winning the Rumble, main eventing night 1 of WrestleMania, winning the title, and the whole 9 yards. And then this goes and happens. But, it is what it is. We have to deal with it. And, we may not like how it happened, but, this is what happens. And I have one little, this is what really should have happened. You should have let the Carmella match play out. Have Bianca win that, then have Becky show up, and then we can start a proper title feud. If they had done that, then everything that I just said, I never would have. So, but like I said, is it great to see Becky back? Abso-freaking-lutely. The women's division desperately needs her. Absolutely. But the way they executed this, I'm sorry, man. That was a raw deal as far as I'm concerned. But let's see what happens, and I'm sure we're gonna get there's gonna be a rematch. We got 5 weeks until the next pay-per-view event, Extreme Rules, at the Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. So let's just see how it goes down. So it's an NA for me. So Michael Bullock, I mean, the first of what ended up being a couple of big shake-up surprises. And oh boy, a lot of people are happy about it. A lot are not. What says you?
Ooh, you had to put me on the spotlight on this one. But you know what, Florio? I mean, I know you were saying, "Oh, let the Carmella match play out," but the problem is, do you really think Bianca and Carmella have? You think that's SummerSlam material? The other thing is, she's had chances already against Bianca Belair. I mean, not once, but twice. I mean, I think they could have gone with maybe someone else. I mean, that's the only problem with that. But, oh man, how they executed it. You know what? I'm 50-50 on this one. Part of me is happy that that Becky Lynch won because remember, she never lost the Raw women's. She never lost the women's title because she relinquished it to Asuka before she left to become a mom. So, could they have done it better? Absolutely. But I mean, yeah, Bianca Belair's reign. I mean, I think it should have gone maybe longer, but you know, it is what it is, and yeah, those who think that her title reign is not the way we think it is, they're probably happy with it. But and you know what? I'll even say this: maybe a heel turn for her could do her wonders, especially where eventually we'll get a much longer match with Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch. So, no, we'll wait and see how it all goes. But for me, I'm in the 50-50 range, so I really got nothing more to say. It's good to see Becky Lynch back, and to the man, you asked that question, did we miss you? I think the answer is obvious. Hell yeah, we missed you. These shows weren't the same without you, and it's good to have you back. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, never an easy transition when you have to do something like that. So next up we had was Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal. Drew McIntyre wins the match in 4 minutes and 40 seconds. This was short, sweet, and straight to the point. Uh, Jinder got a little bit of some offense in the match, but Drew had to do what he had to do, got the job done, won the match. And that actually will open the door for him to get, just to elevate himself and, kind of keep himself relevant for a little while because of the fact that, based off the outcome of this show, he won't be allowed to go after the WWE title for a little bit, but, they're still going to have to do what they need to do, and we'll see what happens there. But this was a solid match. There's really no doubt about it. Like I said, this is another 2-star fight. So Anthony, it is yours.
Yeah, this didn't do anything for me. This could have been saved and promoted for Raw. There was absolutely nothing about it that rendered it worthy of pay-per-view inclusion. Was it perfectly acceptable professional wrestling? Sure, but fans demand more out of a card of this magnitude. It is disappointing that this is where McIntyre was slotted on the show because he carried the company through the pandemic, and now, in just the second major stadium show back in front of fans, he is in a meaningless and forgettable match that did nothing for either man involved. It was merely there, a spot and match no wrestler wants to find themselves in. I'm sorry, this was a dud. Bullock, take it.
Yeah, I'm with Florio on this one. This was an absolute dud, but I mean, we knew they were going to keep Drew out of the title picture, but they could have done something better than Jinder Mahal. So nothing else to say. It's an absolute D-U-D dud. D.D. Woodson, it's yours if you even want to talk about it.
Yeah, this would have been something more for a pre-show, or like you said, for Raw. But just like the Alexa Bliss match, it was, I think, supposed to be used as a cool down match. Although, yeah, the excitement was high because Becky was back. No, the match wasn't that great. But yeah, I would have to say it's um, either a dud or half a star or something. But there's just not much on there. I mean, jinder really is not pay-per-view worthy anymore. And I think there was no doubt that McIntyre was going to win. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Like you said, we could just move right on along, guys. So the next thing that we had was the Raw Women's Title on the line. Nikki ASH versus Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. Triple threat for the gold. Winner of the bout in 13 minutes and 5 seconds. And once again, the Raw Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair. She wins the title. She did it again. I believe this is what now? Number 4. What is it, Anthony?
12, I believe.
Number 12 for Charlotte Flair. So she's now a 12-time champion. History made. It is all yours.
I believe I gave this 3 to 3 1/4 for this. Charlotte Flair is the best. We get it. Her matches speak for themselves. When she continuously beats everyone and wins championship after championship, it indirectly kills the credibility and effectiveness of the division over which she reigns. At some point, it becomes Flair and everyone else, rather than the strong, powerful woman and her challengers. It is a monarchy where only she of the royal family ever has a realistic shot at the throne. Even when she is stripped of her crown, it is but momentary because she will regain it, ensuring no one is ever more consistently atop the division than her. The booking is self-defeating. ASH will never get over enough to be champion again, at least not with this current gimmick. And Ripley has lost to Flair so often at this point that it is almost impossible to imagine a scenario where she could be considered a credible challenger to the Queen, at least for the foreseeable future. So where does that leave us? With Flair as champion and no one fresh to step up to her, the women's division on Monday night is about to enter a period of stagnancy that is the perfect representation of Monday Night Raw as a whole. But the match was good. Very good match. Absolutely. 3 to 3 1/4 stars for this one. So, another one where I could say whoopee. That's all I can say on that. So, but I know Michael Bullock. I'm sure you've got to be. Oh, I'm sure you're ready to go in phenom mode on this one.
Yeah. 3 1/4 stars. It was a good match, but this is the absolute reason why Monday Night Raw is in the state that it's in right now, because of its women's division. Because like you basically just said, Florio, it's Charlotte Flair, and then who else? Because that's the problem they have. Who's going to be the next challenger? People probably won't take Rhea Ripley seriously. The gimmick for Nikki is not selling well with people. So, yeah, I hate to say it, but I'm getting sick and tired of Charlotte winning the title, as far as I'm concerned. We always say we want to see other women get an opportunity, or at least to hold the title, but it's like as long as Charlotte is around, she's going to be the one that's holding the gold, and it's just like that gear that she had on. She's like Thanos from the Avengers movie, and she even said it afterward that she is inevitable. So she can get the Raw Women's title at the snap of a finger. That's how I see it. So nothing else to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours. I'm kind of getting sick and tired of Charlotte Flair as champion.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are sick and tired of Charlotte as champion, but at the same time, there wasn't a whole lot of doubt that Charlotte would come out on top, especially after earlier in the night, them bringing Becky back for SmackDown. They had to have something big for Raw as well. So, what bigger person to give the title to than the Queen herself? So, yeah, I can agree with Florio's rating, and not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, there was. I mean, there's really nothing more to add. You guys have pretty much said everything that you need to say about the match. So we're just gonna move right on along. Next thing that we had here. Oh, we're gonna get into this. Edge versus Seth Rollins. Edge wins 21 minutes and 15 seconds. Michael Bullock. Oh my goodness. Fight of the night.
Yeah, without a doubt, this was indeed the fight of the night here. I mean, what can you say? Both of these men really brought it to the table, and then some. I'm gonna give this 4.5 stars. I mean, this was a very well done match. I mean, the near falls was awesome, and the Shakespearean drama with these two, and the other thing I like is at the beginning of the match where we got both sides of Edge. Where when he first came out, we got the Brood Edge when he literally came out through the fire, and then we get the regular rated R superstar Edge, and yeah, this was a match that was 7 years in the making, and this match was definitely well worth the wait. So, yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say except fight of the night. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I can agree. It was fight of the night. These two, they pretty much tore the house down. So, yeah, I'm not gonna add too much more. It's yours, Fletch.
This is gonna be at least 4 to 4.5. I mean, this match was unbelievable. The hope spots, the battle, the back and forths. This was without a doubt a masterclass. We knew this was going to be probably one of the top fights of the evening. It was one of the top fights of the evening, if not the fight of the evening. They absolutely tore it. I mean, this was amazing. Great battle, great match. The ending was awesome. There was nothing bad about this fight. Rollins and yeah, there's really nothing more to add. So there's really nothing more to add altogether. Yeah. And with that said, we'll give it to Anthony Florio. So Florio, it's yours.
The psychology and storytelling within this bout were phenomenal and led to the best match of the show by far. Seth Rollins relentlessly targeting Edge's neck and looking for the curb stomp after forecasting it in the weeks leading into the show was a nice touch, as was the Hall of Famer scouting it and being ready to counter every time. What started as a slower-paced match hit its stride with Edge's comeback and went full throttle through the finish. The biggest takeaway is that the match reflected the story. Edge told us Friday night that Rollins had enraged him to the point that he had to reach deep down within himself to find a dark side. He represented that side with the Brood-inspired entrance, then built upon it with the brutal face smashing that gave way to the match-ending submission. This feels very much like a feud that is not finished. Rollins will come back, probably more driven and disturbed than ever before, looking to avenge the loss that took him further out of Universal title contention. If it means another match between these two, bring it on. 4.5 stars. Move on.
All right. Next up we had was Bobby Lashley versus Goldberg. Bobby Lashley wins the match in 7 minutes and 10 seconds. And Didi Woodson, it wasn't the match itself that we need to talk about. It's what happened after the match that really, really grinded
I dropped when I re-signed years ago, Vince. I told you.
Yeah.
I sold more shirts.
Yeah. I don't even know where to start. I really don't. I'm at a loss for words on where to start with this one. Yeah, it. Yeah, I'm at a loss for words. I'm just gonna let you go on because I can't even think at the moment. So.
All right, I'll take it. I'll take it. No doubt about it. Look, we knew it wasn't going to be a great title match. We knew it wasn't going to be anything amazing. I mean, it had maybe one or two moments. The beatdown at the end really sat from a lot of factors, and a lot of people were not happy at all. Then the post fight, what happened after the match was kind of tough to watch. Obviously, they were trying to sell the injury that Goldberg was unable to compete or finish the match. Therefore, that caused the referee stoppage, and that was over. Then, in a crazy twist, Gage, who is the son of Goldberg, ran into the ring, and Bobby Lashley hurt locked him. And this is where everything went into a very dark place. Gage is 15 years old. He's not a professional wrestler. Not contracted by WWE. He's technically a civilian. And Bobby Lashley basically just hurt locked him. And even MVP is like, whoa, Bobby, stop. Whoa, no. This is going to be very interesting to watch now. Because now you went into a very gray area in professional wrestling. This is a point of contention where there's certain things WWE has gone, and we've criticized WWE for going over the line. This is going over the line. They went beyond that line. And you're like, wait a minute. No. We cannot accept this. Not this. No. So, I don't know. All I know is that it's not good. It is not a good place. It's not a good reaction. The match wasn't as, polished or anything else. That's like 1.5. But the post-fight kind of really left a bad taste in the mouth of WWE, and a lot of the fans kind of was like, what the hell was that? Anthony Floyer, what's yours?
It was a 50-50 night for Raw. Raw had 3 good matches, but on the other side, we had 3 duds, and this was one of them. I think even one star would be remotely generous, because this was bad and totally exposed Goldberg's weaknesses. It was too long, asked him to sell too much, and featured a terrible finish designed almost exclusively to set up a rematch no one is asking for when they go back to Saudi Arabia this October. That this crowd was entirely against Goldberg, treating Lashley like a babyface, even as he ragdolled his teenage son, did not help matters. The idea of these two wrestling again, regardless of the setting, is anything but appealing and should be reconsidered before WWE manages to strip whatever mystique is left in the Goldberg character away for good. And to make matters worse, you have Bobby Lashley put Gage Goldberg in a hurt lock. 15 years old, that's a damn minor, son. Yeah, real tough guy, are you? Real tough guy, huh? rubbed me the wrong way. Absolutely. So, even though I'm still happy, even though I'm very happy he's the champion, I'm very happy that he's continuing on as champion, as he should be. But after what he did to that young man, that definitely takes a little notch of respect down. That's all I can say. That I lost a little bit of respect for this guy, and but I mean that is no way for a face of the brand to behave yourself. Yes, I understand you're a monster badass heel. I get it, and and that's fine. But at the same time, what you did to that young man is pointless. It's unnecessary. It's unacceptable. It's inexcusable and borderline reprehensible. So that's all I can say on that. So not much more to say. I know I'm being too harsh, but I'm sorry. This was a dud for me. Another dud. Raw had 3 of them. Eva and Alexa, McIntyre and Mahal, and this. But we had 3 good matches to counteract it, so it was a middle-of-the-road night for us. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, Bobby Lashley, yeah, real tough guy, huh? Beating up a 15-year-old. Sick.
Yeah, and what I'm about to say, and I don't care if anybody comes after me. Yeah, Bobby Lashley, you're a real tough guy. You want to put the hurt lock on a 15-year-old? That's a damn minor. Yeah, you crossed the damn line, you. Yeah, I mean, well, first off, yeah, I agree with Florio. This match was a dud. I mean, nobody really cared for it. I'm glad Bobby Lashley's the champion, but as far as I'm concerned, he's a bad representation as the champion, especially after what he did. Yeah, you're a real tough guy, huh? Putting the hurt lock on a 15-year-old minor. And instead of attempting it on the tough guy, Goldberg. Yeah, really tough, huh, are you? And if you got a problem with that, why don't you come at me and I'll say it to your face, and I ain't afraid to say it to your face. I'm done. I'm finished. Dee Woodson, did you finally know what you were going to say? And if you did, I'll give it to you. And if not, I say we just move on.
Yeah, I kind of recollected my thoughts. I'm sorry, I just went completely blank there for a moment. I don't know what went wrong, but yeah, and it was a despicable sight after the match. Yes, the match was a dud. As a mom, that's the last thing you want to see is a child being put through that, no matter what the age of the child is. Yes, he's a minor. MVP giving the excuse, well, he attacked him first. I mean, that's all it is. It's an excuse. You need to be aware of your surroundings at all times when you're in the ring, and they knew, Gage was there. I don't care if Bill Goldberg, said that, yeah, it's okay for them to attack my kid and stuff for storyline. It still doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it okay. The kid is not a professional wrestler. He doesn't have the training. He could have really got hurt taking that move, not knowing how to do it or anything. So yeah, definitely knocked Lashley down several notches, and it's good not to have Goldberg as a title holder, but I'm almost to the point I would have rather seen Goldberg have the title than have a champion that disregards respect and disregards people's families and wants to go in and attack a minor like that. It's not okay. It's downright abuse. So yeah, not much more I'm going to throw in. It's yours, Fletch.
Main event of SummerSlam. It was for the Universal title. Roman Reigns versus John Cena. Roman Reigns wins the match in an even 23 minutes. But that wasn't even the story that we need to talk about, Anthony Florio. We had ourselves a massive bomb going off at the end of it. Holy freaking crap. Brock Lesnar, here comes the pain.
And for the second straight pay-per-view, MF, when that happened, you did the exact same thing that you did when Cena showed up. I think you might have done it a little more emphatically, though. I'm done. I'm done. You almost let an I'm effing done out of this. But because you couldn't believe the night, and you also mentioned about an out-of-body experience. But all kidding aside, second best fight of the night, 4 to 4.25 stars. Only because it did start, pretty slowly, but then it eventually kicked into high. This was a dramatic main event, executed to perfection by two masters of their craft. Roman Reigns and John Cena's timing of the near falls was flawless. They took the fans in Vegas on a roller coaster ride that left them genuinely convinced either man could leave with the Universal Championship, despite WWE damn near giving away the outcome this past Friday night when Roman dropped that I'm going to leave WWE stipulation. Roman winning was absolutely the right call, if only because his run as heel champion is unprecedented in its excellence and there's still plenty of mileage left on it. Then just when you're left wondering what's next for the head of the table, Brock Lesnar returns, ready to kick ass and win his title and win his Universal title back. That Paul Heyman was his advocate, but now pledges his allegiance to Roman Reigns, enhances what would already be a dramatic storyline given the failures the head of the table has experienced against Lesnar in the past. On a night that proved to be up and down, WWE delivered an exclamation point that it very much needed, and as a result, has fans buzzing as tomorrow night's Raw and next Friday's SmackDown approach. So 4 to 4.25 stars, second best fight of the night, only because it did start very slow, but then it eventually kicked into high. So now, and it looks like we're gonna get a renewal of one of the great rivalries of the 2010s, and that was Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, I mean, whoa, as if SummerSlam needed another bombshell. First Becky Lynch, now the Beast. What's going on here?
And it's the thing we talked about. WWE needed to fire back after of course CM Punk arriving at AEW. So they needed the surprises of their own, obviously, with Becky Lynch, and now here comes the pain. The Beast incarnate Brock Lesnar is back in WWE, and it looks like he's got his sights set on the head of the table, Roman Reigns. So second best fight of the night, 4 stars. I agree. I mean, it did start off slow, but it did pick up as the match went on. Roman Reigns, like you said, going over was the correct call here, but just when you thought he was fresh out of guys, but oh boy, here comes an old rival of his, the Beast incarnate Brock Lesnar. And only this time around, Brock Lesnar as the babyface and Roman as the heel. And you know also that Brock Lesnar probably wants a piece of Paul Heyman and why he pledges his allegiance to Roman and not Brock Lesnar. So there's really nothing more to say. Dee, what's yours?
Yeah, this was definitely the second best match of the night. I can agree with the rating. Kevin and I were talking, let's do a Heyman on the pole match or Heyman in a cage match, and either the winner or the loser gets Heyman. Because this is definitely going to be, not just a fight over that title. It's going to be a fight I would think for Paul Heyman as well, since he's, been with both of them. Although, Brock Lesnar probably could do a lot better without Heyman, although, Heyman was his mouthpiece. I think one of the main reasons WWE went with all these bombs, like Bullock said, is because of CM Punk. We bring, AEW, we bring in CM Punk, WWE. Well, we're going to top you by bringing in Becky Lynch and giving her a title on the night she comes back. Then we're going to top that off even more by giving you Brock Lesnar, who had been rumored to go to AEW as well, and of course didn't, since he showed up at SummerSlam. So, this is going to be a very, very good rivalry starting here, and it's going to be very interesting to see what comes out of it in many different points of view. So, yeah, I'm not going to add too much more. It's yours, Fletch.
The game has changed, and it's going to get very interesting now more than ever before. All right, so time for overall review. So I believe it goes to Anthony. I believe you lead off. So
Yes, I do.
All right, so give me your thoughts on SummerSlam as I get set for NXT.
Even with the 50-50 night that Raw had, 3 good matches, 3 duds, and it was really more of it was a banner night for SmackDown because their 2 main events absolutely delivered. 2 huge returns, which made business pick up. Becky Lynch back on SmackDown, and apparently it looks like you're going to get the Beast as well, MF. You're going to get Brock Lesnar on top of that as well. I mean, SmackDown, desperate need of talent. It's been well documented with the depleted rosters, and well, you got a major shot in the arm in the women's division, and you got a major shot in the arm on the men's side, like them or not. But boy, howdy, it was still one of the best SummerSlams we've had in a long time. I could honestly say it was a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. I mean, a lot of things. The crowd, the 51,326, that packed Allegiant Stadium, it looked amazing, like we knew it would. Commentary was great, especially Cole and McAfee. I mean, with how nuts they went when Becky and Brock both returned. And yeah, I mean, Edge and Rollins stole the damn show like we knew they would. Roman and Cena not far behind. Damian Priest and Sheamus gave us the 3rd best fight of the night and far and away the best fight on the Raw side. And the other matches, a few of the other matches were solid to good, but unfortunately we did get 3 duds in there. But, with the element of the Shakespearean drama and the commentary and the crowd and the whole 9 yards, I could probably give this like a 7.5 to 8 out of 10 for this. One of the best SummerSlams we've had in a long time. So, yep, now it's on to the fallout tomorrow night on Raw in San Diego, and then SmackDown Friday night in Little Rock, Arkansas. So let the build for Extreme Rules begin, although we got a long time for that. We're still a ways away from that. That's 5 weeks from tonight, September 26th, at the Nationwide Arena in Columbus. So 7.5 to 8 for me. Michael Bullock, your overall thoughts on this show?
Yeah, 7.5 to 8 for me as well. I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, we had some good matches, even some great ones, but yeah, you also had some duds as well. But all in all, I mean, this was a good SummerSlam, so 7.5 to 8 for me. Dee, what's it yours?
Yeah, I could agree with that rating. Yeah, there was a lot of great matches. Yeah, we had some duds. But even with the duds, I mean, who didn't like the fact that Dewdrop turned on Eva Marie or took off with her jacket and stuff? I mean, that was good. Or seeing Pat McAfee dancing on the table with Nakamura and Booze. I mean, some of the segments were very comical. But also you had certain segments that shouldn't have been placed where they were placed. Like, the Miz segment, I don't think should have been placed that close to the end of the show after just showing them show up at the beginning of the show. It should have been, put somewhere maybe in the middle or something. But some of the placements weren't real great. Yeah, 3 duds, but there's still a lot of very good matches, and a lot of surprises that came out of this. So yeah, I'll definitely agree with the rating. So it's yours, Fletch.
8 out of 10 for me. This was by far one of the better SummerSlams we've had in a number of years. I thought the event was excellent. Yeah, there was a few duds. I don't think we can disagree with that. We're just going to move right on along. It's time for NXT. Started off with the $1 Million Championship on the line. LA Knight versus Cameron Grimes. Winner of the bout in 1631. And the new $1 Million champion, Cameron Grimes. Great opener. Excellent match. This was a solid 3.5 stars for me. There was really nothing bad about this match. It was a little slow. It was a little plotty. There was a little interference by Ted DiBiase. He did get involved, but you kind of knew that if LA Knight would have won the match, he would have had to become the butler for LA Knight. So now Cameron Grimes does get the moment that he was that we were hoping to see. He gets Ted DiBiase's $1 million belt, and it looks so good on him. I can't be any more happier for him. Great match. Nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
3.5 stars. Easily the best match of the series. Cameron Grimes and LA Knight found their rhythm this time around. The story was excellent, and the crowd was completely invested. Beyond a few awkward moments, this was about as good as this gets. The right man won, even though this win was rushed. Grimes was barely a butler long enough for the second match's stipulation to matter. This should be the end of this rivalry, given the two do not have much more story to tell. It was a fun story. It was great to see the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, back at it near a WWE ring. This all worked very well, and it should be interesting to see what NXT does with the $1 Million Championship going forward. So 3.5 stars for me. And Michael Bullock, who says he can't teach an old dog new tricks, man? $1 Million Man still has it with that $1 Million dream. And LA Knight's going to know all about that at the end of this night.
Yeah, LA Knight knew about it the hard way. The outcome was never in doubt with this. 3.5 stars is my rating on this. A good match to basically start it off, and Cameron Grimes going over, winning the $1 million belt was the right choice. So there's really nothing more for me to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, 3.5 stars. It was a very, very good match. Yeah, a little shenanigans with DiBiase getting involved, but the right person won, and we finally got an end to this crazy storyline. So all positive there. So it's all yours, Fletch.
NXT Women's title on the line next up. Raquel Gonzalez versus Dakota Kai. Raquel Gonzalez successfully defends the title in 12 minutes and 24 seconds. Anthony, it's yours.
Another 3.5 stars. The one knock on Raquel Gonzalez as champion was that she had not had matches at the same level as her predecessors. This was absolutely at the level of Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley before her. She and Dakota Kai brought everything to make clear how important this grudge match was. The back and forth action sold that either woman could win. In the end, NXT further established Gonzalez among the greats in NXT's women's division. She needed a big opponent to challenge her after this. And oh boy, we got one. Kaylee Ray, the scary queen of Scots. Perfect next woman to step up. She dominated NXT UK and helped elevate that women's division to a new level. While NXT UK will miss her, NXT can make use of one of the best women signed by the company. So another 3.5 star match here. Michael Bullock, you've got as if your women's division couldn't get any better. Now you got the scary Queen of Scots coming in. Whoa.
Yeah, and she is. I got a feeling she's definitely going to put the entire NXT Women's Division on notice, which she will. That she is definitely a force to be reckoned with in NXT. So, yeah, 3.5 stars. I agree with it, and yeah, and I think you're looking at Raquel Gonzalez's next challenger for the title in Kaylee Ray. And I can tell you right now, she ain't no pushover. She'll give Raquel Gonzalez a lot of fits. So there's really nothing more to say. Dee Winston, it's yours.
Yeah, I can agree with the rating. It was a very good match. These two. It was physical. It was clearly good match where Dakota just held her own with Raquel, and they delivered some great crap. Yeah, it was good, and yeah, I can't wait to see Kaylee Ray come in and step up against Raquel. I think that's gonna be a real good match, and yeah, we could possibly be looking at the next champion in Kaylee. So, not much more I'm gonna say. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This was a solid 3. This was a solid 3 for me. Another great match, another great title battle. There's really nothing more to add. I enjoyed it. I thought it was incredible. Yeah, there's really nothing more to add here, guys. So we're just gonna dive right on into the next fight of the evening. Oh boy, batten down the hatches on this one. Ilya Dragunov versus Walter for the United Kingdom Championship. The winner of the bout, 22 minutes and 3 seconds. And new NXT United Kingdom Champion, the Russian Missile, Ilya Dragunov. Michael Bullock, holy freaking crap.
Yeah, holy freaking crap is the right thing to say, Fletch. And this was, as you would say, Fletch, a Michael Fletcher be a man fight. We knew this was going to be something special with these two, and boy howdy, they delivered. It was a smash mouth. It was a knockdown, drag down fight between these two, and the long historic reign of Walter as NXT UK champion is over. And this was the time to do it. So, man, I'm going to say it, and I don't care what anybody says. This is the fight of the night, hands down, but I'm going to pull the trigger. This was a 5-star classic. It was everything that you expected. This was a be-a-man fight. This was a knockdown, drag-out match with these two. I mean, they didn't hold. You could see the battle scars, especially with Ilya Dragunov. I mean, oh my! I mean, bravo to these two for giving us a match that we'll be talking about for years to come. So, fight of the night, 5-star classic. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yes, definitely 5-star classic. And the best word to fit it is perfection. These guys, it was like two guys going out to war. I mean, it was just a great battle between the guys. That they took it there. They took it as far as they could go, and they really, really knocked each other down quite a bit. They showed exactly what they had, and definitely, a very great match. And like I said, you can just say it's perfection. So, yeah, not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Fletch.
I've seen brutality. I've seen wars. I've seen bad blood. I've never in my years seen anything like Ilya Dragunov and Walter. And it blew my mind how this fight was going to go. Even though we knew it was going to be good. We knew it was going to be great. We knew everything about it. This is takeover worthy. This was meant to be on the show. And this, I mean, my God. I mean, UK, take a bow, my friends. You outdid yourselves tonight. You got two of the best in the world right now. And I'm going to say it. You outdid NXT USA. Like, there was no other match that came even close to this. 5 stars. Yes, it is official. I'm giving it the 5-star rating. I would not be shocked if Anthony Floyo follows suit and make it a unanimous 5. But this was amazing. Amazing match. Nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
Unanimous 5-star classic. This was one of the best matches I have seen in a very long time. It was easily the best match of the entire weekend. It may be the best match of the year. From the outset, this was magic, and the story told by these men sold the years of history between them. The two competed perfectly in sync. It was brutal. Every chop was heard throughout the whole arena. The false finishes built into a flurry where neither man had to devalue their offense to make this feel special. WWE does not put on matches like this often. Dragunov worked hard to get to this moment. The story he told over the past year was stellar and led to a result that was not guaranteed, but felt altogether right. It will be fun to watch the next chapter of NXT UK unfold. 5-star classic, and I'm going to go on the record right now. This is going to be the match of the year for 2020. So, not much more to say. We got to move on, unfortunately. I wish we could stop it there, but we still got 2 more to go. And oh boy, what's next here? We got Intercontinental Rules coming up here.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 falls, as it was Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole. Kyle O'Reilly wins it 2 falls to 1. It was O'Reilly winning the first fall. Then Adam Cole won the second fall that got us to the 3rd fall. Kyle O'Reilly wins it all in the 3rd fall. 25 minutes and 20 seconds. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, that was a good match as well. I mean, no, it wasn't anything near what we had seen beforehand, but this was still a good match for what time they had. You could have been dreading it a little bit because of the fact that it is one of the repeats. I mean, this is like the 3rd time these guys have gone after each other, but with the consideration that this also could have been Adam Cole's final match in WWE, they did a great job. The right before the cage match, I mean, a lot of people, we all thought that O'Reilly was out of it, but he turned it around, and even with Cole pulling out the handcuffs, he still managed to pin him and to get the win. So I'm going to give it 3.25 stars. It was a really well done match. So yeah, it's yours, Fletch.
I actually disagree, Dee Woodson, and I disagree wholeheartedly. This at least deserves 4.5 stars. I think this was a great matchup. I think the body of work of the entire 3 falls was absolutely incredible. This could have gotten 5 if it wasn't for the horrible finish in the 3rd fall in the steel cage. The way that the match ended absolutely stunk, and I was so mad with NXT. Not very rare that I pulled the trigger and call out NXT for a garbage finish, but this is exactly what it was. An absolute garbage finish in my mind. I thought they could have done a lot better with that. They totally screwed the pooch on it. Yeah, that was a major no-no for me. I don't know. Triple H and Shawn Michaels, you are a lot better than that. I don't know what the deal was with that one. I am not happy at all. Excuse me. I felt it coming. I knew a sneeze was coming. All right. So, 4.5. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, second best fight of the night, 4.5 stars. This looked to be an indulgent mess on the surface. The 3-fall format seemed to sell that this would go on for nearly an hour, especially given the length of the previous 2 matches these men had. Instead, it was a fast-paced, action-heavy clash. Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly clearly took it to heart what they were following, and they weren't going to be the ones to ruin the crowd energy. It was about as well put together as a 2 out of 3 falls match can be, except for the ending, yes. Kyle O'Reilly needed to win whether Cole re-signs with WWE or not. NXT has built him up as a true threat to the top prize. If he lost when it mattered most to the man that is forever established in NXT, it would ruin any chance of Kyle O'Reilly getting to the main event level. But aside from the finish, absolutely right on, MF. Second best fight of the night, 4.5 stars. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, Undisputed Era. The Undisputed finale. Not quite the fiver. I mean, if it wasn't for that finish, we probably would have had another fiver, but not quite here.
Yeah, 4.5 stars. This was the second best fight of the night. Yeah, the ending was bad, but you still can't take away from what these two did during this 2 out of 3 falls. So now that this is over, hopefully, well, Kyle O'Reilly can move on to better things. As far as the future of Adam Cole, well, that remains to be seen. So nothing else to say except Fletch. It's NXT Championship time.
Yes, it is. Karrion Kross putting the title on the line against Samoa Joe, winner of the bout in 12 minutes and 24 seconds. And the new NXT champion, Samoa Joe, he wins the title. Solid main event. This was pretty good. It was short. It was plotty. But it could have. This was a solid main event. It was another Be a Man fight. I enjoyed it. So 3 stars for the main event. Anthony Floyo, is yours.
Yeah, 3 stars. While Samoa Joe is one of the all-time greats, it was clear from the outset that he was not quite ready for a match this long. He was out of breath early and had to give up some ground to Kross in order to recover. It was a solid match in the end, but certainly not at the level of the rest of the card. The Samoan submission machine will need to do some work outside the ring to prepare himself for future title defenses better than this. It is a shame that Kross's title run had to end so suddenly. While Joe was a good choice to dethrone him, it still feels anticlimactic, driven by a surprise move to the main roster, much like the man he defeated for the NXT Championship the first time, Keith Lee. Solid 3 stars. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, don't call it a comeback. Samoa Joe, once again, NXT champion, 3-peat.
Yes, it is a 3-peat for him. So, yeah, 3 stars for me. I mean, it was a good, solid match to close out the show. So there's really nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I can agree. 3 stars. The only nitpick I have, the chemistry was a bit off between the two, and you could really tell the crowd was really upset because Scarlett didn't come out with Kross like she'd been doing all the other times on NXT. But this is their way of sending Karrion off to the main roster, and Joe's 3-peated now, so yeah, he's got a little bit of work to do, but I think he can hold his own, and we'll see what happens. So it's yours, Fletch.
Anthony, you lead off on the final thoughts for NXT.
Yeah, 9 out of 10 here. Maybe 9.5 here. What can you say? Another amazing takeover. No surprise that Walter and Dragunov stole the damn show. We knew they were going to. Cole and O'Reilly almost did right after, but the finish at the end though, that was just yeah. And Cameron Grimes, new $1 million champion, great match with LA Knight. The women's match was great. Main event by default was the worst fight of the night, but after the two, they were put in a very tough spot with those two classics that preceded it. But takeover is takeover. And no surprise that their show ended up being better than SummerSlam. SummerSlam set the bar very high last night, and NXT's like, oh, you want to set the bar on us, huh? Usually we're setting the bar on you. Well, you guys did great, but we're going to have to outdo you. And they did outdo them. So Michael Bullock, take a bow, brother, because you guys did it again. 9 to 9.5 for me. Mr. NXT, this is your moment. Take a bow.
Yeah, what else would you expect from TakeOver? This is another very awesome edition of TakeOver. So, yeah, 9 out of 10 for me. The NXT title match was by default the worst fight of the night, even though it really wasn't a bad match at all. Obviously, the match that stole the show was the NXT UK title with Walter and Ilya Dragunov. The second best fight of the night with Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, 2 out of 3 falls. Yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. 9 out of 10 for me. Dee Woodson, it is yours.
Yeah, I could go 9 to 9.5. Yeah, definitely. Walter and Dragunov was definitely the top match of the night. And to justify my rating on Cole and O'Reilly, it was the fact of the way it ended. So yeah, I cut off points for it, but it is what it is. The guys did a great job, but just you don't end a match cheesy and get points for it. So yeah, in my book, they got to strike right there. So yeah, but yeah, it was definitely a great show. They did a great job, and they set the bar even higher than what SummerSlam did, and surpassed it in many ways. And it didn't drag on like SummerSlam did. So it was precisely what they said it was going to be. The time span. So yeah, it was a great show. So I've got nothing more to add. It's yours, Fletch.
And I'm going to close it with the 9 to 9.5 as well. So yeah, you're absolutely right, guys. There's really nothing more to add. So we are done. Tomorrow night is Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Florio. Raw, 205 Live, Impact Wrestling. On Wednesdays, Wednesday Night Mayhem, as always. Thursday, Strictly Sports. We got a few things that we need to get into on that. And then Friday is, once again, we got Cerebral Smack Talk. We're going to be talking about SmackDown Live and, of course, the new AEW Rampage. And that will be at 11 p.m. Eastern now. From now on, 11 p.m. After Rampage goes off the air, we'll have that. So there's really nothing more to add. So thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you tomorrow night. Goodbye.